Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This is Morr'gán Rowlings, coming to you from the Order of the Old World and the Church of All Worlds. So, today is another day at the Plasma Center. I donated yesterday, and Melissa donates today. She was refused yesterday for high blood pressure. So, just wanted to talk a little about what I usually talk about. People are so damn judgmental these days. It's horrible. Sometimes I feel quite like the criminal. I don't at all care for this world. Its trends, its disciplines. I suppose you have to take the good with the bad. Look for the diamond in the rough, so to speak. Someday I hope that the world will see things more like I do. There won't be so many trends, so many ways of belittling people. When you start a trend and everybody starts doing it, those who don't do it are left out, and they feel that they're not adequate to their surroundings. And that's really quite sad. I have to admit, even I was a trendsetter once. As minor as it may be, I did something that now the whole internet is going crazy after. I called the United States President, Donald Trump, under the name of Trumpus. Like the old Germanic Krampus, this is Trumpus. And now I see it fairly regularly online. Somebody's calling him Trumpus, as if that was his nickname. And I was the one to start that. And sometimes it makes me laugh. Because at least it's a trend that doesn't belittle anyone except the one it's aimed at. And yes, I know I should not poke fun at anyone. But when you believe someone is as far wrong as I believe Donald Trump is, well, of course I'm going to aim my wrath at him. Part of my faith and practice has always been if somebody is truly in the wrong, let them know, and do not pretend to be all nice about it. Be slow to anger and violence, but when provoked, hit hard with a strong hand. That is what I believe. Don't just pop off and fight anyone. But when it really matters, deliver the death blow. Of course. So, if you have something to fight against, go at it with all of your force. No matter what it costs you, be sure you're the victor. Don't ever just let something carry on. Don't ever make excuses for something that's wrong. I used to allow things. Things that my family would do to me. I would make excuses, or I would say, well, it's not as bad as it could be. And I used to make allowances, such as one of Melissa's nieces, back where we used to live, would bring her boyfriend into our room and fuck on the bed or on the floor. And at first I would just allow it because I thought, what can I do? I'm the new fellow here. And then one day I finally just had enough. And I said no more. And her boyfriend started being a bully to our children and to me. And even to Melissa, though she refused to see it for a time. And I banished him from our house. And of course, I was the villain in the story for the longest time. Me and Melissa would have horrible arguments about it. And her niece tried to get Melissa to break up with me because of it. And now, after all these months, her niece broke up with her boyfriend because he had her committed to a mental institute. It was proven that I was in the right. I knew what he would do. But nobody listens to me. Nobody ever listens to me. They always assume he doesn't know anything. He's new to the world. He doesn't see anything. He's blind. He's inexperienced. He's naive. He's this and that. But when all is played out, I was always right. I am always right. When I meet somebody, usually within the first few days, I know what their game is, what they're going to do to us, if they're going to use and abuse us, or if they're going to be an asset to our life. And I wish people could see that. I wish people could understand that this fellow knows what he's talking about. I have only once in my whole life been wrong about a person. And that was actually that I did not trust them when I could have trusted them. First impressions are everything. I once had a boyfriend. My first impression was, I do not like this fellow, he scares me. And then he offered to counsel me. And as he was a pagan, like I am, I accepted, and I thought, I'm going to regret this fellow. But I went anyway, because I knew I needed some help. And then he played upon my emotional strings. I became attached to him for a time, and he absolutely ruined me. Made my depression and my mental state much worse. And I regretted it. Because I did not listen to my first impressions. Sometimes they can be mistaken, but with me, my first impressions are never wrong. There's so many people who have ruined my life because I did not listen to my first impressions. I have a severe maniacal depression because of these people. And I know I could have spared myself so much if I'd only listened. Focus always on your first impressions. You will never, ever be confounded if you only use your own common sense. Don't second guess them, because you will try to justify something wrong to make it right. Do not ever say, oh, but this person does this thing, and, they are famous, or they are wealthy, they are successful, it must be true, because it isn't necessarily true for everyone. And whether you believe in God or the gods, whatever the higher power is, whatever created us, gave us our common sense, our first impression instinct to help us survive. So, usually it is custom made for each individual, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, I hope to have found my happy ending now. I am in love with a wonderful woman. Makes me very happy. Also makes me cry a lot, but I suppose any relationship would have something like that. Whether someone is inclined to cry like I am or not. I suppose there are good and there is bad in all relationships. Two people are two individuals united. Each individual has certain things about themselves that are unique to their own self. Therefore, there are things that conflict between myself and Melissa. Her light and my darkness, for example. I can watch horror movies all day long, and I wouldn't be creeped out by them. I could see the most bloody, gory shit in the world, and it wouldn't bother me, whereas all of this would horrify Melissa. And that's okay. Sometimes she likes to watch these girl movies. Chick flicks, I believe they're called. And I can do that sometimes, but if it's too many at a time, it is quite annoying. But that's just the difference between her and I. Take it in welcome, and rejoice in the diversity of our relationship. Basically, this was my message for you today. Thank you for watching. The Old World Order and the Church of All Worlds bids you thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give me a jolly good thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, hail and farewell.